Emma Thompson had always been the kind of woman who blended into the background. At 28, she was a dedicated elementary school teacher in a small, run-down suburb of New York City. Her days were filled with the chatter of second graders, lesson plans scribbled on napkins during her lunch breaks, and the constant worry of making ends meet. Her apartment was a tiny one-bedroom walk-up with peeling wallpaper and a leaky faucet that she'd learned to live with because calling the landlord meant dealing with excuses. Emma's wardrobe consisted of thrift store finds, modest dresses and cardigans that screamed practicality over fashion. She drove a beat-up Honda that coughed more than it ran, and her idea of a splurge was a cup of coffee from the corner diner instead of the instant stuff at home. But beneath that unassuming exterior beat a heart full of dreams. Emma had grown up in foster care after her parents died in a car accident when she was 10. She'd bounced from home to home, always feeling like an outsider, whispering to herself in the mirror, "I don't belong here." Teaching became her anchor. It was her way of giving children the stability she never had. Yet, loneliness crept in during quiet evenings. Her best friend, Sarah, a bubbly nurse who'd known Emma since college, decided it was time to intervene. "You need a date, Em. Blind date. No arguments." Sarah set it up through a mutual acquaintance, insisting it would be fun. Emma agreed, mostly to stop the nagging, but as the day approached, doubt gnawed at her. What if he saw right through her? What if she didn't belong there either? The restaurant Sarah chose was Le Château, upscale French bistro in Manhattan that Emma had only read about in magazines. As she stepped out of the subway, her simple black dress, her fancy one, felt woefully inadequate against the backdrop of glittering chandeliers and valet-parked luxury cars. She tugged at her hem, whispering to herself, "I don't belong here." Her blind date was supposed to meet her at 7 p.m., and she arrived early, nerves twisting her stomach into knots. She scanned the room, couples in designer clothes, laughing over champagne. Emma felt like a fraud. At exactly 7, a man approached her table. He was tall, with sharp features softened by a warm smile, dressed in a tailored suit that screamed money. His dark hair was perfectly styled, and his watch probably cost more than her annual salary. "Emma?" he asked, his voice smooth and confident. She nodded, standing awkwardly. "I'm Alexander Hale." "Alex, please." They shook hands, and she noticed his were calloused, not what she expected from a CEO, but then again, she didn't know he was one yet. Sarah had only said he was successful in business. As they sat, Emma's mind raced. Alex ordered a bottle of wine she couldn't pronounce, and she pretended to know what she was doing when the sommelier poured a taste. Conversation started light, weather, traffic. But Alex seemed genuinely interested in her. "Tell me about your job," he said, leaning in. Emma hesitated, then opened up about her students, the way little Timmy's eyes lit up when he finally read a full sentence, or how Maria's drawings brought color to her gray classroom. Alex listened, really listened, his eyes never wandering to his phone. But as the evening progressed, the differences became glaring. When the appetizers arrived, escargot and foie gras, Emma poked at them, unfamiliar and intimidated. Alex noticed her discomfort. "Not a fan? We can order something else." She shook her head, forcing a smile. "It's fine. I'm just not used to this." He tilted his head. "Used to what?" Emma sighed, the words slipping out before she could stop them. "Places like this. I teach at a public school. My budget is ramen noodles and discount coupons. I don't belong here." Alex's expression softened. He set down his fork. "Belong? Emma, everyone belongs somewhere. Tell me more about why you feel that way." And so she did. Over the main course, steak for him, salmon for her, she shared fragments of her past, the foster homes, the constant moves, the feeling of being invisible. Alex didn't interrupt, he nodded, his eyes reflecting empathy. When she finished, he reached across the table, hesitating before touching her hand. That sounds incredibly tough. You've built something meaningful from it. That's strength. Now it was his turn. Alex revealed he was the CEO of Hale Enterprises, a tech firm worth billions. He'd grown up wealthy, but his path wasn't easy. His parents divorced when he was young, and his father, the company founder, was absent, buried in work. Alex took over at 25 after his father's sudden death, inheriting not just wealth but immense pressure. People see the title, the money, but not the loneliness. Board meetings instead of birthdays. I don't belong in my own life sometimes. Emma's eyes widened. A millionaire CEO feeling out of place? It was surreal. As dessert arrived, crème brûlée that melted like heaven, Emma felt a spark. Alex wasn't the arrogant tycoon she'd imagined, he was kind, vulnerable. They laughed about shared quirks, both loved old jazz records, hated horror movies. But doubt lingered. When the bill came, Alex paid without a glance, and Emma felt the chasm widen. Walking out, she whispered again, "I don't belong here," but this time, Alex heard. He stopped her on the sidewalk. "Emma, wait. What did you say?" She blushed. "Nothing. Just, this world isn't mine." Alex took her hands. "Maybe it could be. Or maybe we create our own world." He asked for a second date, and against her better judgment, she said yes. Their second date was different, Alex's idea. He picked her up in his sleek black Mercedes, but instead of another fancy restaurant, they went to a cozy Italian place in her neighborhood. "I wanted you to feel comfortable," he explained. Emma appreciated it, but challenges arose. As they dated more, the media caught wind. Paparazzi snapped photos, headlines screamed, "CEO's mystery woman." Emma's colleagues whispered, her students' parents gossiped. One day, a reporter cornered her at school, "What's it like dating a billionaire?" She fled to the bathroom, tears streaming. "I don't belong here," she sobbed into her phone to Sarah. Alex was furious when he found out. He arranged security, but the intrusion highlighted their worlds clash. Then came the family dinner. Alex's mother, Vivian, a socialite with a sharp tongue, hosted at their Hamptons estate. Emma arrived in her best dress, but Vivian's appraising gaze made her shrink. "A teacher? How quaint," Vivian sneered over cocktails. Dinner was tense. Vivian grilled Emma on her background, implying she was after money. Emma excused herself, fleeing to the garden. Alex followed. "I'm sorry. She's protective." Emma shook her head. "She's right. I'm not from your world. I can't do this." But Alex wouldn't let go. "Emma, I don't care about worlds. I care about you." He shared his own insecurities, how he'd built walls after his father's death, fearing vulnerability. Emma opened up more too, about the abandonment fears that made her push people away. They resolved to face it together. Alex attended her school's parent-teacher night, charming everyone with stories and donations for supplies. Emma braved a gala with him, where she met his colleagues and held her own, discussing education reform. Yet, the biggest challenge came months later. Alex's company faced a crisis, a hostile takeover bid. Stress consumed him, he worked late, cancelled dates. Emma felt neglected, echoing her childhood abandonment. One night, she confronted him at his penthouse. "You're disappearing, Alex. Just like everyone else." He looked exhausted. "I'm trying to save what my father built." Tears fell. "But you're losing me." That night, they talked until dawn. Alex admitted he'd been hiding behind work, afraid of failing like his father. Emma shared how her past made her expect rejection. They resolved to communicate better, weekly check-ins, no secrets. Alex delegated more at work, making time for her. In return, Emma stepped out of her comfort zone, attending events, and even speaking at a charity for foster kids, with Alex's support. Their love deepened. On their one-year anniversary, Alex took her back to Le Château. Over the same wine, he got on one knee. "Emma, you once said you don't belong here. But you belong with me. Marry me?" Tears in her eyes, she whispered, "Yes." The wedding was intimate, blending their worlds, her students as flower-bearers, his colleagues toasting. Vivian, softened by time, welcomed her. Emma became an advocate for education, using Alex's platform, while he found balance, volunteering at her school. Years later, with 2 kids, Emma looked back. She'd belonged all along, in love, in purpose. The message was clear: belonging isn't about wealth or status, it's about connection, vulnerability, and choosing each other despite differences. And there you have it, folks, that heartwarming tale of love against the odds. If this story touched you, hit that like button to show some love, and subscribe for more inspiring stories that remind us we're all worthy of our own fairy tale. What do you think? Could you see yourself in Emma's shoes? Drop a comment below.